They said Iran could never build a modern fighter jet. They said sanctions, isolation, and limited access to international tech made it impossible. But in the skies over the Persian plateau, a new sound has emerged. A rumble, a roar, a storm, born not in Washington or Moscow, but in Tehran. This is the HESA Saeqeh, the Iranian Thunderbolt. A jet that's more than just wings and engines. It's a symbol, a message, and maybe a warning. But why is the world suddenly paying attention to this aircraft? Why are Western analysts quietly observing its maneuvers? And why are military forums ablaze with discussions about this so-called replica of the American F-5? Well, this story isn't about imitation. It's about transformation. You see, the Saeqeh is a bold evolution. A leap taken under the weight of embargoes, geopolitical tension, and a fierce desire to be independent in the skies. Iran didn't just copy a jet. They reimagined it. Dual vertical stabilizers, indigenous weapons systems, modernized avionics, and stealth-inspired airframe tweaks that make it an entirely different beast. Iran claims it is 100% locally built with no foreign dependency. Imagine that, in a world where even powerful nations outsource parts of their military hardware, a country under decades of pressure claims complete self-reliance. That alone makes the Saeqeh worth more than a glance. So what's under the hood? The Saeqeh uses twin J85 turbojet engines, locally modified, delivering powerful thrust, enabling high maneuverability and low-level strike capacity. It might not be a fifth-generation stealth jet, but in the tight corridors of the Middle East, this machine is agile, quick, and extremely hard to intercept. Equipped with domestically produced missiles, laser-guided bombs, and a 20mm internal cannon, it's not just symbolic, it's dangerous. But here's the real twist. This jet doesn't fly alone. It carries with it a ghost of ambition, of fear, of regional politics. Every time the Saeqeh takes off, it reminds the world that Iran is not out of the game, that no matter how isolated, innovation finds a way. It reminds us that sovereignty in the air is no longer a Western luxury. It's a global race. Let's take a moment and picture this. You're standing on a tarmac just outside Esfahan. The heat is rising. The clouds are heavy. And then you hear it, the scream of twin jet engines. The Saeqeh takes to the skies like a myth, its body gleaming, tail fins slicing through the horizon. Civilians watch in awe. Children point. And the military officials nod with a mix of pride and defiance. Some may say it's propaganda. Others may dismiss it as reverse-engineered fantasy. But one thing is undeniable. The psychological power of this jet is massive. Whether it's participating in joint drills, performing surprise maneuvers, or being used in flyovers across nuclear sites, the Saeqeh is a loud message. We are still here. And we are not afraid to fly. And for those wondering how real the threat is, consider this. In today's combat doctrine, speed and surprise are everything. You don't need a stealth fighter to make an impact, you need the right pilot, the right mission profile, and the will to act. The Saeqeh checks all those boxes. Now let's talk about the man behind the machine, the pilot. Imagine strapping into a cockpit, knowing your jet was built not in luxury labs, but in defiance. Knowing every switch, every throttle, every radar ping is a product of national determination. You're not just flying a jet, you're flying a declaration. And the world is watching. In fact, many don't realize that Iran has slowly been developing variants of the Saeqeh, possibly hinting at a two-seater version for combat coordination or training. Some speculate it might integrate drone swarm technology in the future. And as regional powers ramp up their fleets with Western and Russian tech, Iran is betting on its own blueprints. So the question remains, is the Saeqeh a true threat or a symbol? The truth lies somewhere in the clouds. But what's certain is that ignoring it would be a mistake. Because behind every underdog lies a story the world was too proud to hear. Before we continue, if this journey through Iran's airpower evolution fascinated you, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. We dive deep into military aviation, geopolitical weapons tech, and hidden stories most channels won't touch. And by the way, if you think the Saeqeh was intense, Just wait until you uncover the shocking truth behind the Air India crash. Yes, the human tragedy, the system failures, the heartbreaking last moments. All captured in a stunning deep dive we've linked in the description below. Trust me, you won't look at aviation the same way again. Now back to the Saeqeh. Here's one final thought. The world often underestimates the quiet, the small, the sanctioned. But sometimes, thunder doesn't come from the west. Sometimes, it rises in the east. From a runway you've never seen, on a jet you never believed could fly. And when it does, you'll hear it not just with your ears, but your conscience. This is Saeqeh, Iran's Thunderbolt, born in shadows, built in silence, flying in defiance.